and good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. It's Stephen Sherba with Emotional Soul Healing, and I welcome you here to another guided healing meditation. And today we're going to be dealing with stability. So if this interests you, I welcome you to join along here and simply find yourself here into a comfortable position and uncrossing your hands, uncrossing your feet, closing your eyes, and taking in 3 deep breaths. I'd like you to imagine in your mind's eye having a large silver plate. And on the silver plate, I'd like you to empty out as much as possible whatever's occupied or been occupying your mind, whether it's coming from the career or the vocation, if it's coming from the family or from work, if it's the stress of the day, if it's dealing with finances. Whatever the worry, whatever the anxiety, whatever the fear is, or whatever's been occupying your mind, take a few moments here and empty out as much as possible here onto this silver plate. And you're welcome to bring out as many silver plates as required. And when you're ready, watching these silver plates rising higher and higher into the vastness of the universe until you no longer see them. Imagine yourself here walking through your garden, sensing and feeling the sun's warmth in your skin, and smelling the fragrance, if it's the flowers, the trees, the different seasons of the year. If it's the ocean breeze, or a sense of the openness, or if you're by the forest there. And towards the edge of your garden, walking up the set of stairs, up to the door, guarding your own private island. In the doorway, there's a key. Taking this key and unlocking this door, stepping into your island, closing the door behind you, locking it, and keeping the key with you. This is your home away from home. This is your private sanctuary, and no one is allowed here without your expressed consent or permission. I'd like you to invoke and invite here onto your island your younger inner child, your younger self, and giving this inner child here both a hug and a kiss. And as you gaze deep into the eyes of this inner child, what do you see behind those eyes? Is this inner child, are they smiling? Is this inner child really happy? Or behind those eyes, is there a sense of, say, loneliness or disappointment? Could be embarrassment. Or who are you? Where have you been all this time? I'd like you to give this inner child here both a hug and a kiss, and thank this inner child for assisting you throughout this meditation. I'd like you to invoke and invite here onto your island your master guide and guides here from the light, simply acknowledging and thanking your guides for being here. And whether you see these guides or not, it doesn't matter. Just simply acknowledging them and thanking them for assisting you throughout this meditation. Your guides are going to be showing you here on your island a larger size screen in your mind's eye, and they're going to be flashing in front of your mind's eye or on this TV screen the older programs or the older experiences that are still running within the subconscious. And you're going to ask your guides here to flash in front of your mind's eye whatever you need to see, and then later on we'll have it energetically cleared out, whatever is no longer serving you with this. So with you and your inner child, find yourself here into a comfortable position. Enjoy your movie, and I'll be back with you here in just a couple moments. I'd like you to invoke and invite here your healer guides from the light. And you're going to ask these guides to assist you with cutting any of the cords, any of the files, or any of the feelings that are coming in from that feeling of stability. The feeling, whether it was as an emotion, something that was felt, something that was experienced. If there was any files or any feelings, let's say dealing with a loss of stability, growing up, say with no stability, or having no understanding of what stability is on the inside, and that can be with things, let's say with moving around, having not a place to call home, moving from place to place to place, never really having a focal point or a place of anchor to say deep at the end of the day there, this is home. It's not just a house, but it's a home on the inside, and a home with wherever you may be, with every may being. So the home is something on the inside, and there's no escaping it, because this is what we get to go to home with every night. So whatever's up here, whatever we think about, whatever we think, feel, and our physical world, if we're not happy with it, in some way it also affects the spiritual world. So you're going to ask your guides here from the light to assist you with having all these cords, all these files, all these cords, all these files, all these feelings, and the emotions with this. Everything coming back in from the inner child, back from the family, the culture, and the religion, known or unknown to you, and everything coming in from the initial trigger, the initial boiler point, perceived or experienced, for all the perceptions of it, and all the collective masks worn throughout all the years with it. If for whatever happened, and there's no judgment, there's no blame, sometimes metaphysically speaking, shit happens. So you can go through the experience, but you don't want to hold on to that as we're in the 5D right now. So ask your guides to assist you with having as much of these cords, as much of this energy and the cords placed into the field, everything backing in from the family, the culture, and the religion, from the collective energies, and everything associated collectively from your past, present, and future self, placing these cords energetically into the field with peace, compassion, universal love, and grace. Taking in a deep breath, please. Holding it. And with a purifying exhale, breathing it all out. For any of the files and for any of the feelings coming in with stability, So what is really stability? Stability is the best way. There's the four pillars of it. As we are as a spiritual being living a temporary human experience. So there's the four main pillars with this. The mental pillar, the emotional pillar. If these two are strong, it then affects the physical pillar. And then separately with that is the spiritual pillar. And if you can think for a moment that, if you can imagine yourself sitting on a chair, if all the four legs, if they're solid, if you're sitting on this chair, none of the legs are going to buckle. Now, if you can imagine whatever's going on in your own life, and equally for my own life, if I'm sitting on that chair and I have the awareness deep on the inside that that one leg, maybe two of the legs, is soft, or the one leg there has been supporting me throughout this generation or throughout this point in my life here for, let's say, for an extended period, and deep down inside having the awareness that, well, it's still holding, it hasn't buckled out yet. I'm just going to keep pushing our luck with this. At some point in the 5D here, if that stability is not anchored in properly, and please do not build your business or your empire if deep on the inside, if you're aware that deep in the foundation, if there's holes, if there's leaks, if there's vulnerabilities, if there's that massive pressure on the inside that I got to do whatever it takes to get all the way up to the very, very top of things and being in the best of the game there. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just being in the 5D. If the foundation, it's like a foundation for an apartment building or a skyscraper, if the foundation is not solid, it's great being in the penthouse. It's just at the most vulnerable or the most critical point in someone's life, and it can affect them and can affect a person in many different ways. Physically, either it's a loss of a job, if it's moving around, if there's no stability, if there's no career, if there's a missing vocation. Let's say if the parents were out and around, mom and dad were in the military. If the stability, that can also include things like a divorce or a separation, or even at a younger age with having a death experience with somebody that deep down inside, either we really loved, we really cherished. And with the stability, if the feelings coming up, say with a feeling of grief or shame or say embarrassment, or why are we living in this place instead of the nice place down the street? Or why is mom or dad working over there when we want to be somewhere else, either at this college or that university, or being associated with this club or that club? And deep on the inside, not feeling whole with whatever's going on inside of our own world. So that stability, if one of these legs is vulnerable, my suggestion or recommendation is ask yourself, what can you do to remedy it as quickly as possible? If the foundation, if you have the awareness of having the holes and the leaks in it, I'm stating it from my own experience only, at some point it does catch up with us. And it can affect us in our health, it can affect us financially, it can affect us in our career. And we are living in a universe. So I'm not kidding anyone in stating that. This is a real life game. This is not something where we can just put life on pause with and then step back and press the rewind button. That option is, unfortunately, it's not available. So whatever that stability is, if it's not dealt with, it catches up with us. So I'd like you to ask you guides here from the light for any of these files and for any of these feelings, and including that, if there's a feeling of loneliness, if it's a feeling of enviness, jealousy, gossipy, if it's feeling disorganized, having no stability, a lack of stability, if it's the feeling of that deep down inside emptiness, or holding on to something there where there's nothing there, there's no substance, or working one's tail off, and at the end of it, looking inside of themselves or in their bank account and wondering why there's a zero balance there, or holding on to an empty plate, or for all the work that they've done, they have very little to show for it. So for any of these files and any of these feelings, asking your guides here from the light to assist with having all these cords, files, and feelings, everything back in from the inner child, from the family, known or unknown to you, perceived or experienced, everything coming back in from the initial trigger, the initial boiler point, and any and all the collective masks that were worn throughout all the years of this, and everything coming back in from the inner child, back from the parents, back from the family, the culture, the religion, the society, the collective environment of it, and ask your guides energetically with having all these cords, files, and feelings energetically, everything from your past, present, and future self, placing all these cords and all these files and feelings into the field with peace, compassion, universal love and grace. Taking in a deep breath, please. Holding it. And with a purifying exhale, breathing it all out. For any of the files and for any of the feelings, say coming in with that stability. If one is pursuing, say, either as a career or as a vocation or a lofty goal, and if the foundation isn't solid, at some point, again, it's going to catch up. So if there's anything involving, well, what else affects the stability? What we think about and the emotions behind it. So for any of the files and feelings associated with vulnerability, that can include leadership, sensitivity, having a tough time expressing, and if these bottom files or feelings are not solid, this is going to immediately affect that for a vibration. If the stability is not there, then going from this point here up to a much higher level, it's not going to work. It may work to a certain point, however, it is, for a better choice of words, it is as a facade, because if at some point, if the bottom isn't dealt with, whatever's up here, the whole thing's going to come down. So that stability, mentally and emotionally, if there was any associated, say, traumas with this, and there's no judgment, there's no blame with this. If it's dealing with toxic relationships, back with a divorce or a separation, if it's dealing with a loss of a business partner, or a grief or a loss or a grief within the family, or a loss within someone within the community, or a favorite dog or a favorite cat, that favorite animal or that favorite uncle, or if it was a grandmother, it was that aunt in the family, or that special friend or that cherished loved one. That stability, it can really leave an imprint on the inside. So that's back with that vulnerability. And that whatever was swept underneath the rug for many years, or that's contained within the family, and that stability, if it's not properly dealt with, like I said, it catches up. So it's better that the old ways of doing things in the 3D, it was done to the best of our ability. Moving in the 5D, though, this is where it's essential, where this technology here, we can simply go in there and energetically release it and then move on with our life. That stability is not there to haunt us. It's there to improve our own stability. Because the moment when the grounding is there, when the stability is anchored in, it affects every other area of our life. And when we're grounded mentally and emotionally and with our physical life, this greatly enhances all other areas of our life here. Equally, in stating that, if you can imagine, let's say that in your mind's eye, if you're visualizing You have all these different tasks to do, all these different tasks to complete, all these different forms of responsibilities. And if you're asking the universe to provide you with, say, with more, or saying, hey, I'd like to have this, I'm requesting that, I'd like to have this trip, I'd like to be out manifesting all the good in my life there, yes, the universe will deliver it. Equally, and more importantly, the universe will only give us what we can handle with this. So when I just started doing my own personal inventory of what I had going on in my own life, if you can imagine, instead of a table, or instead of a chair as a table instead, if the table was completely overloaded, and if I wasn't dealing with what I had there, either physically, so if I took a physical inventory of what's in the home, or what's in the flat, what's in the apartment building, or in a larger size home, or if you're living on a yacht somewhere, what is all this stuff that is sitting inside of the home? Is it looking nice, or is it looking there just occupying space? And if you ask yourself, deep down inside, do you really need it? Or say after 6 months, if you don't need it anymore, could you gift it to somebody else that maybe could utilize it or put it to better use? And step by this, removing the things that are no longer serving you. And then this, in essence, we went back with the table there, when the table starts to be cleared out, this will then leave room for something else to come in. I'm saying from my own experience, the moment when I cleared out one table, or if I emptied out one box, or whatever else was ahead for either storage or for belongings, the moment I cleared it out, or if there was older paperwork, older documents, the stuff was sitting around and it was just collecting dust. And the moment I got rid of it, I started feeling lighter. I started feeling more at ease with it. And I started taking accountability and responsibility for it. And not so much was in the past, say, working for the career or for the vocation, I was taking inventory for myself. And it was truly a really good feeling, because the moment I took care of my own foundation and started cleaning up all the messes that I had left in my own life, mentally and emotionally, bit by bit, my life started to really improve with this. So ask yourself, I'm using the example here with the physical experience, what else there, because we got the 4 other legs. The 3 are the important one here, mentally, where we have the physical one taken care of, then the mental one, and the emotional file. So you can ask your guides there, what is it that's been occupying your mind for so many years? Or what are all the 3D programs, let's say in essence, that are no longer serving you? Or what are the older memories that, moving forward, they're technically obsolete? And if you like, you can ask your guides here to assist you with clearing out as much of this as possible. And we're going to place all this here into the field with peace, compassion, universal love and grace. And asking your guides here for all the files and for all the feelings coming back in from the inner child, known or unknown to you, perceived or experienced, back from the initial trigger, the initial boiler point, and all the collective masks worn throughout all the years, for any of the tables, whatever you can think of, either mentally, emotionally, whatever's occupying your mind with this, ask your guides to assist you with placing all this into the field, everything coming back in from that inner child, back from the family, the culture, and the religion, the collective environment of it. And ask your guides to have all these files and feelings collectively and energetically from your past, present, and future self. You're going to place all these files, all these feelings, whatever is no longer serving you, you're going to place it into the field with peace, compassion, universal love and grace. Taking in a deep breath, please. Holding it, and with a purifying exhale, breathing it all out. If there was any other, say, tougher experiences, really tough experiences where it affected one's stability, in the essence where, say, it affected one's health. If it, from the school of rough knocks or the school of hard knocks, whatever it is that on the inside, if you felt, say, crushed by it, if you felt destroyed by it, if it wound up occupying your life or changing your life into a different direction, and there's no judgment, there's no blame with this. If it was, say, back from the stability, whatever it was coming from the family or coming within the system itself, whatever that affected your life, where you had to put the brakes on and feeling accountable or, say, even resentful for whatever happened, however tough the experience was, if it's a loss of a job, loss of a loved one, if it was having no stability, or having people in your life where it's like, hey, on the inside, it's time to get out of here. Because if we're not liking this level, and if we're going up to the next level, and if this one down here isn't properly dealt with, if we keep moving all the way up, which is great, I'm all in favor of it, is the reality is if we're skipping steps of growth with this, at some point it's going to catch up, and however high we go, find out for yourself here, I'm saying from my own experience, when I'm coming back down again. So for any of these files and for any of these feelings, if it's the feelings of, saying, skipping steps of growth, and the moment in a positive essence, when the lesson is learned and when that stability is anchored in properly, solidly, and you're able to build from the ground up and working your way up, then step by step by step, it's a different game. Then from there you can start building your foundation and start building the floors and working your way up, whether it's the vocation, the dream life, really enjoying your life, or feeling at peace that deep down inside is like, man, it was tough, I didn't want to do it, however I'm so thankful and grateful that I went inside and I cleaned everything up to the best of my ability. And the universe responds to this. It responds to it in the most amazing way. And I promise you, being in this 3D to 5D type transition, there's going to be tests with this. So there are tests from the universe just to see, as part of that stability, do we want to go back to the old version of whatever happened, or moving forward into the new consciousness with the ability of making new choices and new decisions with this. And you can feel that in my voice there. The moment when that's anchored in properly, it gives us that luxury of being able to see things in a different avenue with this. So for any of the files and for any of the feelings with this, known or unknown to you, perceived or experienced, back from the initial trigger, the initial boiler point, and any other perceptions of it, and for any of the accumulated masks worn throughout all the years, asking you guides here from the light to assist you with having all these files and all these feelings and all these cords placed into the field, everything coming in back in from the inner child, back from the parents, if there's any siblings, from the family, the culture and the religion, from the entire collective environment, and energetically everything coming in energetically from your past, present, and future self, placing all these files and all these feelings into the field with peace, compassion, universal love and grace. Taking in a deep breath, please. Holding it, and with a purifying exhale, breathing it all out. On the top of your crown, along with your inner child and with all of your guides here, it's going to be a small lotus bud. We're going to invoke and invite in a pillar of white light from the universe. And as this pillar touches the top of your crown, allowing this bud to open up into a large lotus flower, and allowing this divine white light to flow from the top of your crown, down through your spine, down to your base chakra, down to the tips of your fingers, and down to the bottom of your feet. Fill yourself in here with the white light. It's not your own light, it's the light from the universe, and there's an abundance of this light. Keep filling yourself in with the white light here, being completely showered in with the white light. Keep filling yourself in here with the white light. And if there's anything on the inside that you have the awareness that if you'd like to release it, you can ask your guides, and you can ask to have that white light sent wherever it needs to go on the inside. And on your own accord, taking in another deep breath, holding it, and with a purifying exhale, breathing it all out. And breathe it all out with a purifying exhale. Keep filling yourself in here with the white light, and then sending this white light outside of your etherical being. And you're going to send this white light throughout your home, whether it's in the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom. If you have a basement, the first floor, the second floor, if you have an attic, keep sending and radiating this white light throughout your entire home. If you have a vehicle, wherever you're commuting, and sending this white light out in several kilometers or several miles away from your home in all different directions. Keep filling yourself with the white light, being completely showered in with the white light, and sending this white light everywhere in all the different directions. If there's anyone that, if someone's giving you a hard time in your life, and deep down inside having a tough time handling it, you can ask the universe on your behalf. You can ask the universe to intervene and send that person white light on the universe's behalf. And the universe will be happy to oblige you with this. I'd like you to ask you guides with being embodied with the pillar of universal love, universal joy, universal peace, and being embodied with a pillar of universal elation. Ask you guides with having this energy embodied into your physical being. Thanking the universe for the white light. And I'd like you to give your inner child here both a hug and a kiss. And what word can you give to your inner child to keep moving with whatever you need to deal with to gain back that stability in your own life? And equally, what can your inner child do to assist you moving on with your own life? Give your inner child both a hug and a kiss, and again, thanking this inner child for being here. Thanking your guides here from the light. Saying goodbye to everyone here on your island. And walking back to the door, guarding your island there, taking out your key, and locking this door, stepping out from your island, closing the door behind you, locking it, and keeping the key with you. Walking back down the set of stairs, back out into your garden, and throughout your garden, picking up a flower or two. And whenever you're ready, gently moving your hands and feet, opening your eyes, taking in one or two deep breaths, and welcome back. My recommendation here is please drink lots of water. If you're feeling tired, go have a nap. Or if you're able to, go to bed at an earlier time for the evening. And be kind with yourself. Treat each other well. Enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, keep well.